Alright guys, welcome back to my channel. The beef between Jay-Z and Nicki Minaj is getting extremely serious, and Jay-Z has finally broken his silence to expose Nicki Minaj. But before I break down everything that's happening for you, first watch this. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel.
Keep it moving, and I am gonna blow up your spot one of these days.
Nicki Minaj launched an all-out social media offensive against Jay-Z, claiming he owes her anywhere from $100 million to $200 million from the Tidal sale, and alleging that Roc Nation has actively worked to sabotage her career. And while Jay-Z hasn't acknowledged any of her accusations, Nicki doubled down hard, showing up with receipts, serious allegations, and absolutely no intention of backing down. So let's break down what's really going on here, starting with the money situation, because that's genuinely what ignited this entire beef between Nicki and Hav. And we're not discussing pocket change or some minor label disagreement. We're talking about potentially hundreds of millions of dollars. Real talk, no exaggeration. To fully grasp Nicki's position, you need to go back to 2015 when Jay-Z launched Tidal, positioning it as the artist-owned streaming service that would compete with Spotify and Apple Music, marketed as revolutionary because the actual creators would finally profit from the platform they helped build. And Jay recruited some of the music industry's biggest superstars to support the venture, including Beyonce, Rihanna, J. Cole, Kanye West, Madonna, and critically, Nicki Minaj, with each artist receiving a 3% ownership stake in the company in return for delivering exclusive content, promoting the platform to their massive fan bases, and fully committing to the vision. And Nicki absolutely delivered on her end. She was arguably one of Tidal's most aggressive promoters, second only to Beyonce, constantly pushing it across her social media, releasing exclusive material, and showing up to that memorable launch event where she stood alongside Usher, Rihanna, Madonna, and the rest of the crew looking like they were genuinely about to revolutionize the entire music streaming landscape. And the atmosphere in that room was undeniable, because these artists truly believed they were creating something that would fundamentally transform the industry. But this is where everything falls apart, because in 2021, Jay-Z sold the majority ownership of Tidal to Jack Dorsey's company Square, which has since been renamed Block, for approximately $302 million in cash and stock, a genuinely massive windfall and legendary exit. And if you run the numbers on Nicki's 3% equity position, she should have received roughly $9 million minimum based on straightforward calculations. Yet according to Nicki Minaj, she didn't receive a single dollar, not even 1 cent, claiming that Jay-Z's team instead offered her just $1 million, one measly million, essentially to stay quiet and go away, which she described as a complete disrespect, an outright insult, and basically highway robbery happening in plain sight. And she laid it all out clearly on X for everyone to see, writing, "We've calculated about 100 to 200 million so far. Hashtag Jay-Z, call me to settle this karmic debt. It's only collecting more interest. You still in my top 5 though. Let's get it, nigga." And anyone still calling him Hav will answer to God for the blasphemy. And even the Breakfast Club weighed in on this situation, keeping it completely real, raising a point that many people in the culture were thinking but not actually saying out loud. If someone genuinely owes you $200 million, why would you be tweeting about it instead of taking legal action in court?
No idea about their business, but if someone owed me $200 million, then I would be in court, not on X. And I guarantee you, if she ever took that to court, that would be a huge story.
As it stands right now, there hasn't been any lawsuit filed, no legal documentation submitted, no court hearing scheduled, just social media posts. But here's the crucial part. These weren't just random rants. Nicki's tweets were precise and calculated. She didn't simply throw wild accusations around hoping something would land. Instead, she systematically presented what amounted to a complete takedown of Jay-Z's entire empire, methodically building her case point by point, layer by layer. And she proceeded to blame Jay-Z for destroying practically everything the culture values and respects: hip-hop, football, basketball, the touring industry, Instagram, Twitter. She posted, "Dear Fight Jay-Z, you ruined hip-hop, you ruined football, you ruined basketball, you ruined touring, you ruined Instagram, you ruined Twitter. The jig is up," with a disclaimer that all of this is alleged and for entertainment purposes only. And the Breakfast Club absolutely had a blast discussing that particular tweet, with the entire room bursting into laughter.
Hashtag Jay-Z, you ruined hip-hop, you ruined football, you ruined basketball, you ruined touring, you ruined Instagram, you ruined Twitter. The jig is up. All of this is alleged and for entertainment purposes only. And she also is saying she's mentioning Desiree, who is one of Jay-Z's.
You might as well say Jay-Z's the head of Doge. Jay-Z invaded Gaza. You might as well just come on, add some more to that.
But beyond all the laughs and viral memes, the Tidal money issue is genuinely serious. If Nicki Minaj was truly a 3% equity stakeholder in a company that was sold for $302 million and she got offered a lowball $1 million settlement to stay quiet when the actual figure should have been at least $9 million minimum, and she's claiming the real amount owed is significantly higher once you calculate promotional value and brand equity, then that's a major problem. That's not just a simple misunderstanding between business associates. That's being manipulated on a corporate scale, and in the streets, that's considered a serious violation. And she also stated that once she eventually receives that money from Jay-Z, she intends to put it toward her Chakra and Student of the Game charity, a fund specifically created to pay fans tuition and student loans. So from her perspective, Jay-Z isn't just robbing her personally, he's robbing the barbs. He's robbing students who desperately need that financial support to pursue their education. And that particular framing hit completely different because it transformed a business disagreement into a moral mission. But the Tidal situation wasn't even the only issue that had Nicki absolutely furious. Let's discuss the Super Bowl controversy, because in September 2024, the NFL revealed that Kendrick Lamar would be headlining the Super Bowl LIX halftime show in New Orleans. And for anyone with even basic knowledge of hip-hop culture, that announcement felt like a direct blow to one particular person, Lil Wayne, because Wayne is New Orleans through and through, born and bred there. He represents the heartbeat, the soul, the living icon of that entire city. He's one of the 5 greatest rappers to ever touch a microphone, and the Super Bowl was literally happening in his hometown. So everybody, and I genuinely mean everybody in the culture, expected Wayne to get that performance slot. It seemed like an obvious choice, a guaranteed decision. Wayne performing at the Super Bowl in New Orleans just made complete sense. But Roc Nation co-produces the Apple Music NFL halftime show, meaning Jay-Z's influence is deeply embedded in that entire decision-making process. And when Kendrick's name was announced instead of Wayne's, people in the culture immediately started asking questions. Nicki absolutely exploded, posting an entire rant aimed directly at Jay-Z on X, saying denying a young black man what he rightfully put into this game for no other reason but your ego, your hatred for Birdman, Drake, and Nicki got you punishing Lil Wayne. Lil Wayne, the GOAT, NOLA, was good. And she even brought Eminem into it, mentioning that Eminem stood firm on having 50 Cent come out a white man. And that particular line cut incredibly deep because she was essentially pointing out that a white artist demonstrated more loyalty and more courage for his close friends than Jay-Z showed to his own people, his own community, his own culture. And whether you agree with Nicki's position or not, that criticism definitely hit hard because Wayne not receiving that Super Bowl performance opportunity in his own hometown genuinely bothered a lot of people the wrong way. Let me clarify something important here. I honestly don't think this situation is as straightforward as it appears. It actually seems more like rumors and speculation than confirmed reality. Because when you really break it down and analyze all the pieces, it genuinely doesn't make complete sense. And there are several inconsistencies that make you question the entire narrative being presented. Think about it for a second. If Nicki really had such a solid legal case with concrete evidence and documentation proving she's owed anywhere from $100 million to $200 million, why wouldn't she immediately take this to court with a team of lawyers instead of airing everything out on social media where it can be dismissed as drama or entertainment? Major financial disputes of this magnitude, especially involving equity stakes and corporate transactions worth hundreds of millions of dollars, are typically handled through legal channels, with lawsuits, depositions, and actual court proceedings, not through Twitter threads and Instagram posts. Additionally, when companies like Tidal go through major acquisitions and sales, there are extensive legal agreements, contracts, shareholder documents, and financial records that clearly outline who gets paid what and when. So if Nicki truly had a 3% equity stake that was somehow bypassed or undervalued during the sale to Block, there would be a paper trail, legal documentation, and contractual obligations that could be enforced through the legal system rather than through public callouts on social media. The whole situation feels like there might be missing context, incomplete information, or possibly some exaggeration for public effect. And until we see actual legal filings, official statements from the companies involved, or verified documentation, it's difficult to know what's actually true versus what's being amplified for attention or to settle personal grievances. So what do you all think about this entire situation, guys? Does this feel legitimate to you, or does it seem like there's more to the story that we're not hearing? Let me know your thoughts and opinions in the comments section below, because I'm genuinely curious to hear different perspectives on this. And I'll be back with another video covering more developments as this story continues to unfold. So until then, stay safe out there, take care of yourselves, and I'll catch you in the next one.